Right, I don't seem to have a webcam.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
What channel do you run?
Just Frank Autism.
Oh, you're just Frank. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you can understand the northern accent, you're doing all right.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, thank you for being here. I really like your channel.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
It gives great advice, and I think you shed some really good light on like controversial topics and all that.
Yeah, I was trying to do a controversial spin on this music movie, but I kind of agree with everyone to a certain extent.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Now.
Hi there, Alan. How you doing?
Hi.
And we got Sean Andrew. What channel do you run, Sean?
Hello.
Autism awareness.
Alan's Autism Awareness. I know you. You're very good.
And Alan John Henderson. Yeah. On the two YouTube channels I represent. Yeah.
I like it. And Sean, I didn't hear what channel you ran actually.
YouTube.
Could you share your link?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I don't know. Okay. So would you guys mind? Oh, okay.
Oh God, I've got my
Would you guys?
playing.
Would you guys mind? Sorry about that. Oops. 1 second. I like that you give good advice on the coronavirus. Because that's your intro video, isn't it, just Frank?
Yeah, it's just a social story. My little boy's 7 today, and he's really anxious about the coronavirus. He didn't understand because adults were panicking, so he was like panicking. But we don't watch the news in the house. We don't put the news on the TV, and if we're gonna be weary or something, we definitely don't do it around the kids.
I hear you, yeah. Cause you have to like, cause it's one of those kind of topics where like you have to meet people where they're at, like with their educational level. Because that can be really scary for a lot of people if they don't know. Hi, T and Scribbles.
Hey.
Yeah, but that can be very scary. Like if they don't know what's going on and you explain it to them in like a really complicated way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, T and Scribbles, would you mind telling me a little bit about what your channel is about and like subscriber count and all that?
Right now, I think I only have like 48 subscribers.
Okay.
And most of them are probably from my old channel, which I don't even remember how many I had on there, a little over 100 probably. So my channel is mostly just about my life and what I'm doing. I do a lot of journaling, and I'm starting a podcast soon. I just actually launched my website today. I got my domain name and everything like that finally. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a podcast about faith journaling, kind of prompting people to ask hard questions of themselves and journal about it. So that's
awesome.
pretty much what it's about. I'm also trying to figure out how to use Zoom because I'm not used to using this.
Right, so. Exactly. Yeah. Like we've spent so many years of our lives just like meeting in person. But you know, I think the one of the positive things about the pandemic is like I can reach out to so many more people than I could have, right? I I mean, half of you guys are
There
on
we
this
go.
call from overseas. Like, there's no way I'd be able to reach you guys. And I think, like, really raising awareness about these kinds of conditions like autism has really increased because of the pandemic, because there's been a lot more opportunities for collabs and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
Alan, would you mind telling us what your channel is about and like how many subscribers?
Yeah, Alan's Autism Awareness. It has 1,004 subscribers, and it's about being both autistic and LGBT, because I'm both gay and LGBT. And it all started when I was diagnosed in 2009, and then there was a debate about me having autism, and then I was re-diagnosed by DNA in 2013 with autism. Yeah, and my diagnosis is autism and learning disabilities, and yeah, and my other channel is a personal channel, like a blog channel of myself, Alan J. Henderson, that has about 6 subscribers the last time I checked. Yeah, and he's doing well. You know, there's good, interesting videos on both of the channels. Even on Alan's Autism Awareness, there's like gay pride and autism awareness and all sorts of stuff like that on there. Yeah, from another autistic guy's perspective, especially LGBT guy's perspective. Yeah,
I hear you. And well, yeah, that's awesome. Like raising awareness for 2 different causes. Because for me, like I know I have multiple conditions. I mean, autism awareness is like obviously the most important to me. But I mean, I could have like 4 or 5 YouTube channels about like what I experience.
yeah,
And that's why I really encourage like other people with autism like doing a YouTube channel, because you know, we really need to have be more comfortable talking about this, because it's really quite sad, but it really is kind of a taboo topic at the moment. And I think we need to just kind of accept it as a regular thing.
yeah,
And I know that that's slowly improving, but I think like creation of YouTube and social media advocating for this, I think that's going to help a lot with the cause.
I have my own website as well, which I'll share in the chat.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
shared both in the chat, and those that want to subscribe, please feel free to subscribe. You know, yeah.
And I'll be putting I'll be putting everyone's link in the description when this video comes out.
That's cool.
How you doing, Sarah?
Hey man, how's it going? Sorry I was running late. I'm like multitasking. You'll know how it goes.
I feel that, yeah. I am so busy right now, like, yeah.
I was like, I might not even make it. And then I'm like, no, I need to do this. I need to do this. But
You
I also
do need to
eat
do
my
this,
pancakes.
yes.
So
Would you mind telling me a little bit about your channel and like your subscriber count and all that?
oh, mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my channel is Sarah UpsideDown, which I did a collab with Alex one time where I kind of talked about what that meant. Basically, I just feel like I'm walking around upside down in this world all the time. So that's sort of my perspective. But up until recently, I was kind of doing stuff for ADHD, autism, mental health, and just kind of like trying to mix all that together and discuss different topics with that. My subscriber count has gone up like maybe to 117, 120. But I'm not, that's because recently I've actually been posting stuff about my mom, which Alex knows about, but fortunately it made my subscribers go up. But it was probably at like 70, 80, something like that before, which is, you know, whatever. I don't really keep track as much of that as I do from the comments that I get of people saying that like it's helping them. So, you know, it's good to have that like incentive or whatever. But to me, just starting up a channel and actually doing that was a big step. And so being able to kind of get anyone saying like that's helpful, or that's like, I'm kind of looking into that, or for my kids or myself or whatever, I'm like, well, it's doing something. So that's kind of the point,
Right.
But yeah, that's sort of what I'm doing at the moment. And I'm trying to get back to doing more videos on that. I'm just trying to keep my mom's case alive. So she's been missing for a couple months. And I won't go too much into it, but I've kind of taken over my channel for that for the time being, just to help with the case or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of my short little story there.
Well, yeah, and as you said, Sarah, like I do know a lot about that, and I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope like everything is going good with the search and all that.
Well, it's a good thing I have a lot of good Aspie friends that know their ways around computers, right?
Yeah,
that's been super helpful.
I'm not one of those guys to help out with technology and all that.
Yeah, well, just their tips, like, knowing different things that some people wouldn't to look into. And like when my brain's tapped out, I'm like tapping one of you guys in, and just trying to get, next idea or next, just think something that I can look into, or that they can maybe, hack into or something. So,
Right.
It's been good to like create, a community, or like to have others that have created communities for us to get together, because if I didn't really have that before this stuff happened and didn't understand myself, then I would be a whole lot more lost and a whole lot more freaking depressed. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is good that like we have developed that community, because we all have similar mindsets, but we all have like different strengths and weaknesses. So like when you reach out to someone saying, hey, I don't know how to do this, like there's almost a guarantee that there's someone else in that community that can help you out with that.
Right.
And I personally think, and I've seen a lot of communities with like different abilities, so like ADHD, LGBT communities. I think we're one of the closest knit communities out there, based on what I've seen, just because like we all know exactly how we feel about certain things.
Right. And it's enough to relate to like others. So like when people, like everybody else around me keeps asking me like how I'm doing, or, those like basic questions or whatever, a lot of us on a normal basis are still like, what, like, how do I even answer that? Like, do you really want to know? So like to have that community where it's like, they understand that there's like a not unspoken agreement on those type of things, where I don't have to sit here and like, I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know. And we have to like process those emotions differently and stuff. And so,
absolutely,
it's just good to like kind of like be with people that just get it, and then they don't want to have to talk about that subject. We can just go into our interests, and I'll deal with that stuff in the ways that I need to deal with. So I'm sure a lot of y'all kind of get that a little bit. So
yes, I find that. I find that. I mean, even though we're all from different parts of the world, and we all have had different experiences and overcome different barriers in our own unique way, we all share common traits, and that's what gives us that diagnosis.
Yeah.
So that's a great point about like everyone being different but similar at the same time. So how has this whole pandemic thing like affected you guys? Because I know I've heard a lot of different opinions from different people with autism. So it's like, has this been something that you've actually gained a lot out of, or have you just been like really struggling, I guess?
I've gained weight. That's probably about it. Just before the first lockdown began in the UK, I was just getting back into running. I was getting back into the swinger things. I've just overcome a lifelong fear of flying. I've been on 2 flights, one to Spain, one to Amsterdam.
Nice.
Things were on track. And then this mad worldwide global pandemic comes out of nowhere. and we can't even go out for a meal in a restaurant. You can't really go anywhere. You can't leave the country unless it's for work. So I've had 4 holidays cancelled. I've got kids at home at school, and own personal routine is kind of gone out the window. So you have to adapt, whether you like it or not, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, like, I'm not a very social person. So at the start of it, like, if I'm being honest, it was kind of a relief actually, because like I finally have some solitary. And for me, like sensory overload, it gets really bad for me. So like people not being around town very often or not being on my college, it actually felt kind of nice. If we're obviously taking away like all the struggles that we have, like
Right.
not going out to eat and people getting sick,
Yeah.
and you know, really, the best positive thing that I experienced out of this was like the level of remote communication. So like distance communication, like as I was mentioning earlier, half of you guys are from overseas, and there's no way I'd be able to contact you guys without Zoom. And really, Zoom wouldn't have taken off without the pandemic. So I really think, especially in a traumatic time, like we've been going through for the last year, it's really important to have some positives to look forward to
Yeah.
Yeah.
and think about. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm actually similar to you, Alex, and I'm not a very social person. And I'm kind of actually a homebody. So in a lot of ways, it didn't really affect me in that aspect.
Mhm.
But I also am diagnosed with PTSD. And so just like the mental, I had to get off social media for a while. I had to stop watching news and stuff like that because it was just really affecting my mental health. So, in the social aspect, I'm kind of a homebody anyway. I've always been like that. I like spending time by myself. I do a lot of crafting and stuff like that. And so, in that way, it didn't really affect me. And like you, I have sensory overload problems. And so when I go to the grocery, even when I like go to the grocery store, there's too much going on sometimes. So um in some ways it actually helped me a little bit going out, but in other ways it took a toll on my mental health. So
For sure.
Yeah, I can
Right,
kind of
well-
agree with that too, the PTSD things and just anxiety. And I'm actually like kind of in the middle of fighting introvert extrovert, you know, so it's a
Right.
like daily constant battle because I like extroverting outside, not necessarily like with people, unless we're able to actually like have like some sort of like really good intellectual conversation or like keep it going, you know, things like that. Like I get energy from that, not necessarily, y'all know what I'm saying, you know, but like,
Absolutely, I get that.
I'm also like super ADHD, so I need to get outside and like I need to exercise and do all these things. Kind of like Dave was saying with that, I did get into like a habit of a like healthy lifestyle and stuff. And then like that came and it just went, you know.
Exactly.
And so then just being, I guess, a stay-at-home mom, I'm like constantly here already. And so I need to have those times where I'm like leaving every so often and like working out because it does affect mental health a lot if I just am staying stagnant constantly and not, you know, moving away from the computer. But at the same time, it's helped build really good friendships and stuff by kind of stepping away from, you know, the fake somewhat outside world or people that you can kind of get with versus like creating good real friendships, which I've been able to make online. So you know, it's, I think it's like a there can be goods and bads in both sides of it or whatever. But it has given me a lot of time to like actually look into myself more and some of the things, you know, I need to grow or work on too. which I may have not done if like we're constantly in this busy world that we're forced into. And then yes, I struggle, like I can be like very like friendly and stuff with people, but I also struggle extremely with sensory overload. And I'm like, we don't even go out as much anymore, and I still struggle with it constantly at home and at the store. And how did I even live in the world before COVID? Because I would have been going out and doing it way more. And that's probably why I was so much more miserable. So it kind of like gives you that time to step back and be like, oh, okay, maybe I actually need to balance this somewhat and not feel forced to, stay at home or go out, like to have the choice, I guess. So that's kind of what I'm trying to like learn from, the crap situation we've been given in a sense.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that actually kind of leads me into my next question, which is basically that, so the question is like, we've the whole world has basically been given a bad situation, right? But we are arguably are sort of put in a bad situation already, because of like how this world doesn't understand this whole condition. So I guess like, what are some of your strategies that you use to help you like fight the negatives of this and also celebrate the positives?
Well, sorry, am I butting in? Well, I
no,
already have strategies anyway for overcoming a lot of different things. So I mean, I am sensory, especially auditory, prone. So if I don't go shopping at busy times of the day, so I'll go shopping at a specific shop that I know will be open late and quite quiet, really. But here in the UK, we've got some pretty cool things. If you were into that, you've got autistic hours. Lights are dimmed. The shop music is off. There's no announcements. The staff are there ready to help you. I don't tend to use that, but I go shopping late or I just shop online a lot. But one thing I have noticed is a lot of people that I knew beforehand that had no conditions that have sort of really been struggling with anxiety because of the pandemic. And it's good to be able to try and help them. So I've got a couple of friends that don't have any conditions, but have been really struggling with COVID anxiety. And they've been spending more time indoors than me, afraid to go out, walking around with antibiotics, disinfecting door handles and everything, telling people to stand back,
Yeah.
So it's just been a bit strange, surreal watching everyone else, but kind of already being prepared because you've already lived the life of it. So yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I can go next, because I haven't answered my own questions, I realized.
You can do it, bro.
Yeah. So for me, one strategy I deal with when it comes to sensory overload is kind of just like sometimes I have to say like, hey, I need to, like if I'm in a club or something or a bar, like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom where it's all nice and quiet, and like just like collect my thoughts there, and that helps me do a much better job of filtering out the sound, like when I have some time to get quiet. And also another strategy is just telling people straight up how I feel.
Yes.
Because we have very complicated brains, and it's really hard to get our thoughts out, especially if we're trying to be like discreet about it, kind of. So it's just like, hey man, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable, I gotta go over here for a minute. And I think just like being open with people and not trying to hide anything from people, I think that helps me out a lot. And really, now that I think of it, it makes me seem more sincere, because there's always a certain guilt I feel about hiding something, even if it's something that I feel really uncomfortable sharing. So yeah, that's one of my strategies.
Sounds like, I think a lot of us could probably get stuck in it's funny because like the stereotypes of us being like super selfish, I'm sorry, I just have to laugh at that because I'm like, if anything, the problem I had before learning about myself was that like I was such a people pleaser that I mean, that PTSD can come from so many things that it's like
Yeah.
being stuck somewhere. It's not necessarily like being, you know, in a certain place or whatever, but like even just stuck anywhere, you know, it can kind of go into this like mental thought process of like, well, like I'm stuck in my house. I've kept myself stuck doing what other people want all the time, you know, kind of having that codependent tendency or whatever to stay even whenever the sensory overload's too much, to like stop stimming because, you know, it's bothering this person, or to, you know, to do all these things in order to make sure everybody else is okay. And so what Alex just said sort of popped up to me, because that's my brain's like
Idea. Yeah.
you know. But it's like before I would just stay in the, you know, the rooms where the music was too loud and like let myself just build up all that anxiety, which caused a lot of anxiety issues because of that, because I didn't give myself a choice to like leave whenever I needed to, or to do the other stuff that I needed to. And so throughout this time, just sort of like giving myself a little, you know, credit that that I'm not weak because of that, you know. And I'm
yeah.
like by far the most pessimistic person that can sound like an optimist, so don't get confused with my but like I've had to like learn to like kind of, I guess, to be more positive. I need to like see myself in a different way, and that's not just like this weak, you know, challenged human being, and that the world is, you know, is kind of a challenging place to be in with having some of this stuff go on. So just like constantly like giving myself grace, you know, and in the situation that like I'm not a failure, because that's a big thing for, you know, Aspies with PTSD too and stuff like that, that we're not just quitting or giving up. That's not what it is. And that's how I saw myself. So now I'm like, no, this is what's going to work. And this is actually going to help those around me, because I'm not going to have a huge flipping meltdown. And then y'all are going to be like, oh, what's going on?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, just that's sort of what I've been trying to work on with everything. Just giving ourselves a little credit. We're pretty awesome people, you know.
Yeah,
Definitely.
totally agree.
And I think it's important to realize, because like I think it's important to realize that that thing with sensory overload, like that is harmful. Like if you just like try to get used to that, because that's not how your brain works. Like that is gonna be a struggle.
Yeah, pain receptors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you need to figure out like how to deal with it instead of like getting used to it, because
Yeah.
as sad as it is, like sensory overload is always going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And honestly, that can be hard to hear at first, but like to me, it was actually very therapeutic, because I was like,
Right.
oh, I don't really have to like try hard to get used to it, because I can't, you know.
You're like, this is what's going on with me. Like I had no idea, like, you know, for like 30 years, you
Yeah,
know, but that even what, like, I just thought that I was, you know, dramatic and whiny and had issues or something, whatever, like most people that don't know about any of it. But then there's also the stereotype that all Aspies have, you know, the SPD, and there's plenty of them that don't, but they have higher struggles with the social areas of things, or, you know, it's like that circle, which I'm like, yes, the colors, the circle, I like it because this is so much better of a description. But it's like they may have complete control over their sensory, even run to it, but then they have a harder time with you know, maybe verbalizing things more, or the social aspect, or social anxiety is a little higher, which for me, my sensory processing issues are worse, but my social is somewhat okay. So it's just seeing it kind of in that way, that like not all Aspies have that either, and they might have a higher struggle somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sid, I just wanted to say, I can definitely relate to what everyone's talking about. Just what you said, Alex, about trying to be authentic. Like that's
Right.
a word I've really been trying to hold on to lately, because not just for this aspect of my life, like being autistic, but in other aspects, I think it's really important to be authentic with people. I'm learning how to do that because I do have the social anxiety associated with some of the things I've been through, and just not knowing for so long what was wrong with me. So, but lately I've been trying to be more authentic with people, and just like you said, if there's too much going on, just letting someone know, hey, I need to step away from this for a minute. Being honest with people about what I'm feeling in the moments and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And even on my YouTube channel, I've been trying to be myself, which I think is really important, not just for people who have autism, but everyone should be more authentic on social
Yes.
media in general, because there's this I feel like people want to meet this standard that people kind of like fake, and then other people, especially people who have mental health issues, will see people and, you know, try to meet a standard that's not really there. So I really try to stress to be authentic to other people. I try to be that way now that I'm getting older and I've learned a lot of things. So, and then also I wanted to say, like, what Dave, I think that's what your name is, what you said about um going to the store at certain hours and stuff. I go to the laundromat every week the same time on Wednesday mornings at 7 o'clock a.m. because no one is there, because it's already loud enough with all the washers going.
Oh, yeah.
So just little things like that that I've learned how to do. I go grocery shopping in the morning because no one is there. Like literally right when I drop my husband off at 6 o'clock in the morning, we get up super early. I drop him off at 6, and then I ride around the corner to the laundromat or to the store, and I just shop really early so that there's not a lot of people. But if I do have to go shopping, because life happens, if I have to go shopping when it's busy out, I find I just stick headphones in my bag that I take with me, and I'll put headphones on and I'll listen to a podcast, or I'll listen to YouTube videos or music while I'm going around the store. That'll block out all the other noises. So that's some of the things that I've kind of picked up to do just to make my life a little bit easier. So
Yeah, I totally relate, Emmy.
Yeah.
Just knowing your own traits and making little adaptations, it
Yeah.
can make a massive difference. You know, it's just like going from being a stress head to just a really calm person.
Trying to mellow out.
You're not
Yeah.
reaching
I mean,
those ceiling levels for tolerance A or tolerance B.
It sounds like peace of mind and determination to me, but before I probably looked at myself as like just, you know, completely messed up for those reasons. Like, why is this such an issue? Like, why should I just do it like everybody else? And that goes for a lot of other things, not just the sensory overload. So yeah, like just seeing, like changing my perspective over myself all those years, you know, and seeing it as in like what you're talking about to me just sounds like strength versus, you know, just how I would have thought about everything before. I mean, it just sounds like you're trying to like take care of yourself, and I don't really think that's a problem for us to do. So
Yeah.
Excuse me,
yeah,
guys.
embracing
Yeah, I'm sorry.
who I am as a person. So
yeah.
I think
Alan,
that's
go ahead, man. I know you want to contribute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, excuse me, guys. Yeah, I'm afraid I had some sad news. Like Sean, I had some sad news during the pandemic. I was going out with someone, and I'm afraid he committed suicide. I think he started getting COVID. I think, well, he died of depression.
oh
Oh, man.
No.
And yeah,
Sorry to hear that one.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, man.
so I'm a person who doesn't like sudden changes of plans, you know, negative
Yeah.
changes to plans and that. And
Totally agree.
yeah, and if I put something down somewhere, I don't like it. I don't like forgetting where I put it and it's been moved somewhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Guilty.
That's my autism, you know. Sometimes I forget to do things like switch lights off and stuff like that, you know, because my autism says I've done something when I haven't, and you know, yeah. So I thought I'd just contribute that, and just wondering if anyone else who is autistic.
Oh yeah, like don't touch my tools, don't move my stuff, and I have certain areas. Okay, so like it's not everywhere, but like my desk area, just don't go around my desk.
Oh, my
Like my
desk is
tools, where I
horrible.
have things that are like my only things, my crafts place. I know she totally gets me
Yeah,
on that.
that's me.
I have
I'm
one of
in
those,
my
like,
craft room now,
boards.
and my husband actually does not come in here at all. Like he'll
Like,
come
it's
in
just
here
this
to like
side.
put something in here, but he won't come in here because like he knows not to move my stuff. And he's actually getting his own room in our house too, like where he can keep his books and stuff, just because we're like that. We like our own space. My husband's autistic too, so like we the rest of the house, we're kind of like learning together to try to like figure out what to do, because we do, that is a big stressor for us. Like we both like things in a particular way, so like compromising on that has been a big thing. But I definitely can relate to don't move my project that's sitting on the table, because then I won't be able to find it.
I'm the worst one. I'm the worst one, but like he definitely has like some, like, see that board behind how his stuff is on. So I have one too on my side of the office with all, you know, like the little holes that you can put things in and your craft stuff, and then he's got his like duct tape and whatever. But like we stayed our own, you know, our own areas with some of those things. Like his tools for his electrical stuff is like organized, and like I'm not gonna go take one of those out, but when he takes one of my tools out of my toolbox.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's not funny, you know, it's really
I'm sorry, Sarah. Alan, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Alex, I was thinking what we need is sort of like a website that's not just for LGBT autistics, but for all autistics, even if you're LGBT or not, and all get together and, you know, and chat about how difficulty things are and that being autistic, whether you're LGBT or not, you know, and have you thought that as an idea as a website, Alex?
Yeah, I like it. And I mean, like for me, I'm not a very tech savvy guy at all. The guy need help to do pretty much everything with technology, except Zoom. I kind of got it down after a year. But you know, I think it's a great idea, like for people who can create a website and like who have those resources and have that brain that can do it. Absolutely. I mean, I think the more awareness about it, the better. You know, one of the things that Nelson Mandela said was that like if you divide people into things that they cannot control, then you're a fool. And like there are a lot of fools that are running this world. And so I think we all need to wise up and give people the resources that they need, so that they're educated on this. And be that YouTube channel, be that websites, be that social media, like we need to get more comfortable about that. So Sean, do you have any thoughts on this? I'd like to hear your thoughts about my questions.
Did he disappear?
Yeah. You there, Sean? That's interesting.
Maybe he could get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm blaming.
But I think I think one of the most important things is to not really push yourself on skills that you don't know, but rather take advantage of the skills that you do know. So for example, Alan, he knows how to create a website and he goes for that, like totally. And for me, I love talking to a camera, so I do that once a week. And so like
It's
So,
so much easier to deal with.
if you have your skills to bring awareness to something, then really why wouldn't you go for it? And you know, I'm sorry. I was talking to Emmy today, and and we were talking about how important it was to get out of our comfort zones, and that's true for me too. Like I'm a little uncomfortable right now talking on the spot. Like I always have a script and all that, because I mess up my words a lot. I mean, I'm having a good day today. I'm speaking pretty good. But you know, just getting out of your comfort zone with the skills that you have, I think that's the best way to reach more people.
Getting the little stepping stones can lead to big
Mhm.
jumps, you know.
Oh yeah.
That's what I do with my YouTube channel. I did try and do scripts, but I can't do scripts. I keep just going off topic. So I just do bullet points now, and I try and stick to that, and then just clip and paste it. It's a nightmare. So
Yeah.
Yeah, relatable. I'm like, I've practiced both ways, like literally reading off of everything to like completely winging it. And then, yeah, it went to the bullet points and yeah, same. Like you just
Yeah.
have to find your flow, man. Because, yeah,
No.
when you're in unnatural, when you're being like, you're trying to be like maybe even the other YouTubers and stuff, you know, like you're trying to do it how they do, which is either super enthusiastic or very like knowledgeable and all this. And I'm like, if I try to like do it the way they're doing it, I'm doing what I did my whole life and masking still. So if I
Right.
just get on there and like figure out the way that I can do it to where like it actually feels like I'm,
congruent.
you know, just myself, then it'll probably be a lot better versus just like kind of like feeling, I guess, fake or whatever doing it just to get more followers or something, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's not really about the followers. It's about like the people who will listen. Because there are so many followers that aren't gonna listen. Like if you do
Yeah.
it fake. But if you just like put yourself out there and be like, hey, this is me, like sure you might not get that many followers, but you're probably gonna get a higher number that actually listens.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like me said she was good at, you know, crafting and things like that. Alan does websites and stuff like that. He does videos, and I'm sure he's got a whole other good talents that he does over here. And you do videos, and so it's like we all have these different skills. But number one, if we put that together, that's like a power team. Number two, like it shows that like everybody has these like really cool things, and if they hide that to be like the other person, like if I was trying to do what you're doing in your way, you know, then we're not showing what we have to offer.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is for me that like I have 152 subscribers, like being completely real. Sure, I mean I might have like 1,000 if I had like that fake methamphetamine energy that YouTubers have. But like, but how many would actually listen to me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like all my subscribers, they listen to me. They
Right.
know what I'm talking about. So and like I think far
There's
less than
commentary.
150 would listen to me if I'm fake. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of the things when I started my YouTube channel, I went into the mindset of I'm making this channel because I want friends. Like I want people to come to my channel and see me and like me and maybe even like interact. Like I don't even pay attention really to the numbers of people following me, but I pay attention to the comments and I try to respond to all the comments on my videos because that's where I think the real like thing is happening. The people that my cat just topped up, sorry. That's where the real stuff is happening in the comments, not how many people are following, but the interaction that you get with people.
Yeah.
And I want to be authentic so that I can have authentic interactions with people. So,
That's awesome. I'm gonna need
One
your
thing
channel.
I've noticed with YouTube.
Don't move the camera.
Sorry.
Oh,
Are we having a cat party? I'll totally join the cat. I got a cat.
Oh, I'm not bringing my cat in.
I don't have cats.
Terror.
Here, I'm sorry. Go ahead though, Dave.
One thing I
Sorry,
noticed
guys.
is, oh, it's all right. I was going to bring my cat in, but he's a terrorizer. Normally when I watch YouTube videos, if I really like it, I post a comment But one thing I've noticed when you've got a YouTube channel is people watch it, they may like it, but they don't comment.
Can't
And
go there. You're gonna
even when they do comment, sometimes if it is
can't go there.
a really from the heart comment, for me anyway, my anxiety, I find it difficult to comment, sometimes. And I might not comment for a day or two because I can't do it at that moment. I can maybe find it a little bit overwhelming. So I just kind of come back to it because I don't like doing that yeah, thanks comment that a lot of YouTubers do, especially when someone sort of wrote a little mini essay, So yeah, I find that kind of thing a bit overwhelming, but I'm not fussed about making money on YouTube.
Ellen,
Yeah, for sure.
Ellen, what are your thoughts on that? Like genuine content and like how do you want your followers to interact with you?
Yeah, well, I reply to comments that are left for me as often as I possibly can when I'm looking at my channel, and yeah, don't get a chance to reply to all of them because of doing other things with Facebook and websites and all that. And yeah, and I've got a group called Alan's Autism Awareness on Facebook, and I'll share that link in a minute or two as well. And yeah, it's nice that I have good followers, whether they listen to the message or not, and that and understand the videos, I don't know. So hopefully, yeah.
Cool.
Right, and you have like 11,000 likes on that page or something.
Yeah.
Fun, dude. Yeah.
But I can go real quick. So for me, obviously I like to post genuine content. I think that gets the message the most across. But one of the things that I get really uncomfortable about is like commenting on other people's videos. Because I have a very blunt channel name, Alex's Autism Awareness Channel. So like people know what it's about. And I guess the reason I feel so uncomfortable about commenting is like people are going to see that, they know what I do. And that's something that I'm still kind of getting used to, because I'm not comfortable with having this condition myself yet. That's something that I need to work on. So like if I'm uncomfortable with that, I think it's an irrational fear, but I think like, oh, what will other people think if like he's raising awareness about autism. Yeah, that's good, but like, ooh, I don't know, that makes me a little uncomfortable or something. And that's probably not how people think. That's probably just an irrational fear of mine.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things I'm working on.
I think we kind of all go through that at some point with it though, because it's not just like, oh, cool, I found this out and I'm just going to go on with it, and
right.
like there's good and bad things. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm kind of like with Dave on the whole, like trying to comment back because I don't want to like feel like I'm doing it as an obligation, either. But it can get like overwhelming to be in some of the groups and like the other ones that Alex and I are in, whatever. There's just like so much going on like all the time and you can't catch up with the conversation. And like, I just have to step back from that. I'm like, sorry, I probably seem like the jerk because I'm not ever showing up for someone who seems so social.
I did that recently because I wanted to start my YouTube and my work on my website and stuff, and having too much going on in my life at once. And I just totally took a break from Facebook. I deleted off my phone and I only get on it when I'm on my laptop. So
it's like, so you don't like burn out with it either. But like, I do want to reply to everyone. I'm just not going to push myself like I would have before to like reply like every single time I get one, like I'm replying and I feel like I need to just do all this immediately. I'm like letting myself, like Dave said, just have a couple days, like I'm going to get on there and do it whenever I feel like it's not like an overwhelming thing. But I will get back to people. Yes, I wish it was sooner, but it's like being aware not just of autism in general, but of your own autism, like your autism, what you need for some of the difficulties that it has, so that you can, show the gifts and the good things about it. But if we're constantly burning out and draining ourselves, you know, with everything, then we're gonna have all those worst traits like 24/7. I'm gonna be like a freaking She-Hulk banshee or something running around screaming. Okay, so like it's just better to be aware of those things.
Yeah.
Y'all brought up a good point, because I don't have a lot of subscribers. I have around 50. But if ever I got more and there were more comments coming in, I might not be able to reply to all of them. And that's something I need to be prepared for, that I might miss something and that it's okay. So y'all made me think about that for future reference. I need to make a note somewhere.
I want to feel like you know, that's not that, you know, it's not possible for you to, that might be something that you enjoy doing a little bit better. So for you, it might not be something that cause like a fear or anxiety with, you know, because it might be different in that way. So still good to know though, but I wouldn't feel like, oh gosh, now I'm not going to get to them or, you know, whatever, and just be like, you know, I'll try. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
Guys, I have shared in the chat the Facebook group called Alan's Autism Awareness.
Okay. And I'll take all those links when I upload the video. I'll take all of your links and post it. I think combined we have like 1,700 subscribers or something. So it's really amazing that like so many people are getting out to each other. Because I mean, if you think about it, that's 1,700 people that know about this condition that probably didn't before. And I think that's a really special thing that all of us are having. And I mean, there were a couple of YouTubers that couldn't come on. One of them they all had between like 200 and 400 subscribers. So we're definitely reaching a big audience. And I encourage all of you guys, like, if you have any friends who have autism, encourage them, hey, step out of your comfort zone, make a YouTube channel, make a website, because like this really needs, I mean, sure, we got 6 YouTubers here, but really I'm thinking this needs to be a much bigger thing, you know, like this needs to be a movement of social media awareness. And Sarah shared her Facebook group, but it needs to be, it needs to be a mass awareness. And I think we're going to get a lot done because of that.
Definitely now more than ever, especially as we don't know where we're going with this state of flux in society.
And I do have something to add on to that. With society, when it comes to like ableism and more inclusion and more diversity, it's like a constant uphill. And by uphill, I mean uphill results. So like, it's pretty slow, like it's at a pretty slow angle. But like we're gonna look back in 60 years, like I'm gonna be an 80-year-old man, and I'm gonna be like, oh, we've come so far from 2020 when it comes to like
for sure,
and inclusion. But I think like when we all get together with something like this, and by the way, I'll share the recording so you all can post it on your channels. I think that really speeds up the process of inclusion and like understanding.
I think also as far as like, sorry, I'm like the worst, I mean the best devil's advocate.
You're the best.
I'm the best devil's advocate, but without the devil part, right? So anyways, but like with, you know, with other people, like throughout, I guess, like a couple of years of like learning about, you know, Asperger's and autism and, you know, just the spectrum, whatever, that at first it's like easy to get frustrated with the other people because you're like, what do you mean I don't look autistic? You know, that one.
Yeah.
Totally. But like other things, like, you know, like with the frustration that comes with those comments, and like we're learning about ourselves and we're really feeling and like knowing everything like deep down into our core that like we are autistic, and like you know, a lot of that's, you know, maybe people learning later on like me, but even people that were younger that still get those comments to them. We get so frustrated, or let's say I did with, you know, the neurotypicals and all this stuff. But I'm also like, well, eventually, you know, if you have the right frame of mind, you realize it's like, it's not just their fault because they don't have awareness, and they don't just not have awareness because they don't care. I mean, I had to deal with this with my own family. It's that they haven't been taught about it by society and the other people out there, and there hasn't been information given to them to look at their kids and to know some of these things, so it's like I had to learn in my journey to not just see them as all like they don't care, they're not trying to understand. Now, yeah, there is some of those and they're totally douchebags, but that's besides the point. It's that we have to be the ones getting the information out there so that they can give a crap, or at least the ones who want to, because if they don't know about it, how are we going to expect them to agree or to understand us if we're not helping them to understand? And it took me like a while to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
You can't break down those barriers if you don't recognize people have difficulties in the first place.
No.
Yeah. Well, and we're hurting when we're finding out it's ripping off like 50 things, and we're hurting and we're just figuring this out, and there's good and there's bad and we're confused and whatever. So, it's hard in that beginning stages of like going through that to see them. We're just like, y'all are all a-holes and y'all don't get us and y'all are blah, 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 whatever.
Stuart, I'm sorry to interrupt. I heard Sean talking though. Did you have something to say, Sean, about inclusion and all that?
You are?
On that? Yep.
Well, I have like autism as well, and I have like learning disabilities and learning difficulties, and plus I had a friend called Matthew Chadwick. He sadly passed away. Well, he didn't pass away, but he died in 2019 in June. He collapsed in his bathroom, and I found him dead.
Oh
But
God.
but, I know. But when I saved him from pneumonia, he treated me, and I was like a son to him, and I called him dad because we went to like town and that, and I just like I miss him, and I can't like sleep. I can't, because all every night before I go to bed, I just like look out the window to see if his star is there, and this is right. I just like have trouble sleeping, but it's just like now I've got Alan with in my heart now, because when I was at school, I was like I got treated shit. Well, sorry about my language, but it's just like I got bullied at school.
Mild language on YouTube.
Yeah, but I'm on YouTube, and I've got a YouTube channel which I post on the chat. So
Thanks, man.
Yeah. It's good that you've got him. He's with you in your heart, so he's always there in your memories.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us.
It's just like because it was my birthday on the 14th of February, and now I'm 26, and
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I'll show you this card what Alan got me. So there you go.
That's nice.
Beautiful. Matches your skin tone.
But I just want to say like a quick thank you for letting me to get involved in this Zoom today. But if you have like any more Zoom meetings, could I be in the Zoom meeting again?
Yeah, I'd love to have you in the Zoom meeting. My brother's name is actually Sean, and it's spelled the same way. I just had to say.
All right.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Good name. Good name.
I'm actually thinking of making this a regular thing because noon at because Wednesday at noon seems like a really good time for people. So it might
Yeah.
be once a month or something because I'd like to make a video
Yeah.
like frequently with like collabing with you guys. But I figure once a month, every Wednesday at noon is perfect, honestly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like the way you call midday noon as well, so that's good.
Yeah, well, I know for you guys, it's like
Very cool.
for
Yeah.
11 a.m.
I know. I'm just like, I'm still having breakfast, but it's fine, guys.
Yeah, we're all in different parts of the world.
Supper time.
And but I'll be in contact with you guys. I'll probably make a group chat or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should definitely stay in touch because I love this idea.
Yeah, me
A
too.
good group, man.
Yeah.
Some good energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's about an hour and we're wrapping up right now. So that's really good timing actually. So what I'd like you guys to do is challenge one of your other friends that has autism to make a YouTube channel or at least raise some awareness.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get my husband to make one, but he's so camera shy.
Okay, that's
So-
awesome.
Agreed for mine. Yeah.
But that's my challenge. And I expect to see 12 people in here next time. No, that's okay. But
Let's bring my family in.
I will share this recording with all of you guys so you can post it. And yeah, I think this is a great step we've taken today. Just like an Aspie YouTuber collab. And if any other Aspies are watching on here that see this, hop on in next time. Shoot me an email.
Yeah, join in.
So yeah,
Been good, guys.
I think that's going to conclude this.